best car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we've got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
And I'm pleased to introduce to you the owners of that fine establishment we call Low Overhead Country. It's Frontier Motors at 230 Beverly Parkway. They are ready, willing, and more than able to answer any inquiries that you may have about a car, truck, or SUV you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in. 476-1007. 476-1007. If you're outside the calling area, just add an 888 to that, and it's a free call. So let's introduce to you, without further delay, Ivan Strickland and Ron Schneider. Good morning, gents.
You're pretty good at that, Don. Thank you.
Yeah,
starting to get the hang of it, aren't I?
Getting a professional. That was Don Parker from WCOA, and he's been around a lot longer than we have. We're in our 17th year of business, and Ivan and I have been doing the show for a couple good reasons. Number one, we come to the radio show, of course, to share the values of cars and help you out with free values, and we're also on cable TV here doing the same thing. This is a call-in show, 476-1007. The values we're going to give you are going to be a little bit different because they're coming from the auto auctions, the Manheim reports, and that is very, very important because it's today's market. They're also going to come from the Black Book Guide, the secret book that you never get to use, you never get to want, and if you just joined us on the show on the radio, all you got to do is call and we'll give you that value. And then we're going to use the NADA guide. That's the same one that all the lenders in our area in the southeast United States use, and it's real simple. Just pick up the phone, give us a call, Don will do the buttons, and we'll talk while we're waiting on you guys.
And when we talk about the Manheim Auto Auction, it's called MMR, which is the market report. The neat thing about it is I got these little black books right here, which back when Ron and I started in the car business, they didn't have the internet. That's how old we are, and Don remembers that even better than we do.
I do
he's
indeed.
older than us.
A lot older.
And we had these books that come out on a weekly basis. The truck book comes out every 2 weeks, and the black car book came out every week. And I'll tell you, this was a Bible. This was what the car dealerships used. And the reason we call it a secret book is you never would want a customer to get a hold of these books. The reason was because it told them how they were going to price the car. And I just opened it up to a 2010 Audi 6, and it says that a premium 3.2 has an average wholesale of $25,400. Now, we wouldn't want you to know that. Because that means that's what I'm buying them for. And the reason we wouldn't want you to know that is because if you know what I'm buying them for, you'll know how much money we're making. Well, that's always been a secret. The dealers do not want you to know how much money they're making because they try to make as much as they possibly can. What we do on this radio show is we share that information for you. I'm not embarrassed to tell you what we have to pay for the car again, and I'm not embarrassed to tell you that we have to make a profit to stay in business. I think it's the amount of profit, though, that we make at Frontier Motors that sets us apart from most of the rest of the competition. And the nice thing about the internet these days, it keeps the dealerships pretty honest that they can't steal your car on the side of the road. Why don't you bring it over to 230 Beverly Parkway at Frontier Motors? Let us give you a buy bid, and that's a bid that we would write you a check for. And Ron, this week, I think it was a new record. We bought 12 vehicles from private individuals. That's 12 cars that we bought right off the street. Rather than going to the auctions and having to drive down to Orlando, I'd rather get it right from you. And we might pay a little bit more money for that car based on the fact that I don't have to pay for the shipping, I don't have to pay the auction fee. So give us a try, and we'll show you how easy it can be to sell a car to Frontier Motors, not just buy one from Frontier Motors, but actually sell one to Frontier Motors.
Let's show you how easy it is to get a value on the radio.
Okay, we got Lisa here.
Lisa, how can we help you?
Yes, I have a...
That doesn't sound like Lisa to me. I think this is Eddie calling from Farm Hill.
Ranger.
A Ranger.
A 2009 Ranger.
Okay.
And it's a Shannon cab. Actually, I let my daughter have it, and I wanted to maybe look at some. She wanted to look at something and see if she could get something more complimentary for her driving.
Sporty or something like that.
On the road, and she needs some better gas mileage.
All right, so it's a 2009 Ranger Extra Cab. How many miles are on it?
100 plus.
Is it an XLT? Is it an XLT model or just a base model? Do you know?
It's XLT.
Okay, and let me get to that. Now the mile. Wow, that's everything was really.
I couldn't find any information on it.
Okay, when you say 100 plus, are you talking about like 105, 110, or 190,000 miles?
How many miles?
Say again. Now I can't hear you.
You said you had over 100 on it. Is it 110,000 or is it 195,000 miles?
It's about 110,000.
Okay, all right, we'll
There
use
you go.
that. That'll,
I don't have it in front of me right now.
I got
well,
you.
just as long as you got an idea, because there would be a difference, of course, if it had 195. And I'm assuming it has power windows and things like that.
Yes, it does.
Is it a 6-cylinder or a 4-cylinder?
6-cylinder.
Okay, and does it have the fourth door? Is it a 3-door or a 4-door?
It's 2-door.
Okay,
Extended cab.
I know, but do the back doors all open or just one of them?
Oh, yeah, all the doors open, yeah.
Okay, that's an option. That's an option. The fourth door is an option, so they actually deduct if you don't have it.
Yeah.
Right now, I come up with an average wholesale of about $9,700, and that seems a little high to me for 100,000 miles, Eddie. But the book value, when I'm looking at the black wholesale book, not retail, but the wholesale book, it's saying it's worth around 97. But my opinion is, I think that's a little bit high with 110,000 miles. I'm thinking from a dealership. Let's say you use real cash money, not trading. Now you're probably going to be looking at somewhere between 8 to 85. I think is what the real money is. And now your trade-in value might be a little higher. If she's looking at another vehicle, she might be able to get as much as $10,000 in trade. But if you just sold it, outright to a dealer for a wholesale, I'm thinking around $8,000 in there somewhere.
Okay, well, I intend to come down and when she gets back and drive down to your place and let you look at it and
Great.
see what we can do.
Okay, thanks
Very,
for calling.
very good.
I appreciate you calling for value. Thank you so much. And Don says he's got another call on the line.
I do. This is Lori from Pensacola.
Hey, Lori, how can we help you?
Yeah, my husband and I would like to get an F4 250 around 2006 or newer, and we'd like to get it in the King Ranch edition. Number one, does the King Ranch edition come in the F250, and about how much can we expect to pay for something like that?
And you're talking about, Lori, you're talking about around the 2010, you said?
6.
Around 2006 or newer.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, that's good. Let's just use that for an example. I'll look at the wholesale value, so if I know what I can buy one for, I can give you a better idea of what you've got to pay. And you said you want an F250, right?
F250, and we'd love to get the King Ranch edition, but we don't know if it comes.
They do. They make it they make it actually in all three editions, a 150, 250, or 350, so it doesn't really matter. And you want 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive?
Preferably 4, but
okay.
We'll take 2 if we can.
Okay, well, there's about a $2,000 difference, so we'll go ahead and use the 4-wheel drive.
And do you want diesel or gas?
Diesel, definitely diesel.
Diesel. Okay, good.
Yeah, most people do.
They just want a loaded up big old crew cab diesel.
Are you gonna be
Right.
And what's the most amount of miles you would accept as long as the vehicle's in good condition? Would you go up to 70, 80,000 miles, or do you want it lower?
Oh, yeah, of course, because it would be diesel. That's hardly nothing on a diesel.
All right, I'm going to just plug in 80,000 miles, and we'll just go with the normal equipment. The King Ranch is pretty loaded with leather interior and dual power seats and things like that, and so I'm not going to add for like navigation or nothing. We'll just do the regular one. It shows that it's got a clean wholesale of about $21,000, an average wholesale of 19. So let's split that and say that I should be able to buy one for somewhere between 20 to 21 on a wholesale basis. So I would say you're probably looking at somewhere between 23 and 24 for a really nice one. And it might even have lower miles on it than 80. It might be even in the 60,000 mile range. And we're talking about well above average condition, not average condition. Because if you got on the internet, Laura, you're going to see that the prices are all over the board. You're going to see one priced for $22,000. You'll see one priced for $30,000. But I'd say for a real nice one with medium miles is going to run you somewhere between 23 and 24.
Okay, that was a little bit more than I was expecting, but I know King Ranch is totally loaded.
Yeah,
So.
don't forget now, if you go down to a 2-wheel drive, you're going to save about $2,000.
And if you go up to 100,000 miles, you're going to save another 2,000.
Yeah, so you can get that. You can get a vehicle like that for the 18 to 20 range. You don't have to go that high. So, and if you back it up 1 year, the difference between 1 year is about $1,500. So there's a lot of little things that you can tweak to get it down into the budget. And I guess a better way to work it is if you stopped in at Frontier Motors and said, "Here's what I've got to work with." What we'll do is work a deal backwards, so to speak, where we let you know here's what I can get you for that money, and then what we do if we don't have that vehicle, we'll actually go out and find it for you. Give me a couple of color choices, and let's say you said, "Well, I can spend $18,000," and we'll see what kind of King Ranch we can get you for that price.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thanks for calling, Lori. Appreciate it.
See how easy it is? 476-1007. Call in and we'll help you out with some values. And that's a good way to start. Lori and her husband are thinking about buying a truck. Or if you're buying a car, and let's say you have a budget. I'm not saying Lori has a budget of 20, but let's say you have a budget of 20. Like Ivan said, we can work that deal backwards, show you 6 or 7 trucks we have in that $20,000 range, or if it's a SUV, 6 or 7,000 SUVs in that range. Or if we don't have that, we go right to our locate system, and our locate system is basically run out of options, and we need to go find it for you.
And sometimes what happens also, people have to compromise a little bit. Let's say she came in around and she says, well, I didn't really want to tell you this on the air. I was kind of embarrassed. My budget is $15,000,
right?
But I really want a four-wheel drive diesel truck. She might have to back that up to an XLT, and maybe we could add two-tone leather. One of the things about the King Ranchers is they have this two-tone kind of leather that you can't get on a regular vehicle. But if we got an XLT with cloth and we put King Ranch leather in it, it's still going to have with power seat and power door locks and tilt wheel and cruise control. We can get one with the chrome package, so it's got the bigger wheels and tires on it, and make it look like a King Rancher. It might save you $3,000 or $4,000 and get one in that budget. So we really have the ability to kind of work it both ways, and sometimes it's a payment thing, Ron. I had this happen yesterday where a lady came in and says, I need an $8,000 vehicle. Well, guess what? She can afford an $18,000 vehicle because she didn't really realize that she had $6,000 to put down. And she could finance on an $18,000 vehicle. She could finance $12,000, and her payments would only be like $250 a month. She said, "Well, I can swing." She wanted to establish her credit, so she had cash, but she didn't want to put all cash down. So people all of a sudden they came in looking for an $8,000 vehicle, and they're going to be driving out in an $18,000 vehicle only because we kind of made them see the light a little bit.
And those are the things that are easy to help and do at Frontier Motors, because each one of our salespeople have a laptop on their desk. All the information is there, and one of the things we take pride in at Frontier Motors, unlike our other dealerships, usually the other dealerships have a little booth somewhere where the sales manager sits up there and he's looking in the glass and he's staring at you up there, and then the salesman walks down and he goes back to that little booth. What we try to do is we try to give our salespeople the way to give you information. If you need the current fuel mileage on the car you're looking at, right there on top of their computer, they can do that. If you're looking for the safety ratings, they can just reach over there and look at the safety ratings for you. So giving you enough information while you're there is what Ivan's been talking about, and making a decision while you're there. Ivan's holding up a new car cost guide right there, and that new car cost guide, we keep those all the way back since we've been in business in 1986. And the reason we do, if you come in and you're looking for a 2-3-year-old car and you want to know what's in the package, or if you want to know if you got to buy an LXI, or you got to buy a SXT in a van, or you got to have a certain option to get some things. Some people love power seats on both sides. What options do you need? We got this information at the dealership. We keep it available, and we keep it so it's a little bit easier. I think Don's wrestling up another call over there.
I am. This is Roger. He's calling from Mobile, although he seems to be having a little trouble.
You reckon the weather's a little bit springy around here?
Yeah. Go ahead, Roger.
Yes.
Hey, how can we help you today?
I get a value on a vehicle.
All right, go ahead.
It's a 2005 Chevrolet Express Lane 3500, and it has 330,000 miles on it.
Hey, Roger, before you go any further, let me ask you a question. Are you thinking of selling this vehicle or buying the vehicle?
Selling.
Okay, all right. Let me use the
NADA. Yeah, I would probably use the NADA. 2005 Chevrolet cargo van is basically what you got, right, Roger?
That's a 12-passenger.
Oh, it's a 12-passenger. Okay, 12-passenger cargo van with 230,000 miles.
Chevy, right?
Chevy. All right. Did I say Ford? Chevy? Did I confuse everybody at the deal? Everybody on the air and everybody
confused,
watching?
But that's my usual MO.
Yes, but that's okay. You're a little bit older than us, as Ivan said.
And we will go with 1 ton.
1 ton.
Which is a G35.
Yeah.
And is it? You said it was is it a 15 or a 12 passenger?
12.
12.
Okay. So let's say.
Club wagon, probably.
Yeah, they call it next.
230,000 miles.
They call it next.
330.
How many?
330.
Where have you been?
330.
Where the heck have you been?
Did they sell you a key with that thing? You're supposed to turn it off once in a while.
God almighty.
I drove it a lot.
He's hauling people around.
Yeah.
He's got people. He knows people.
Well, the funny thing is the book doesn't really recognize 330,000 miles. It doesn't go up that high.
It stops depreciating at 150.
Yeah, the mileage deduct is only $2,900, which would be the same mileage deduct if you had 200,000 miles on. I'm going to tell you what the book values are. Roger, it's going to be $3,700 is the loan value, and the retail value is $7,200. So it's still got a pretty good book value, but reality-wise, with that kind of money on it, I mean, if you put it on the side of the road and put it on Craigslist and sell it with that kind of miles on it, I mean, I'm thinking you're going to get $4,500.
I agree, 45 to 45.
The 5 in there somewhere. Somebody pay for it.
Okay, really.
Yeah.
That's a good vehicle. I mean, never had no problem with the engine or anything. It runs good.
It's about
I hate to get rid of it.
Yeah, check with your local churches. Some of the local churches have, the youth groups that they bring in the mornings and stuff like that, and they might have a small investment, $4,000 or $5,000. You might be able to sell it to them.
Yeah. Hey, Roger, a tip. Sell it while it's still running. You've had really good luck with it. I don't want to jinx you, okay? So sell it while the transmission, the engine, everything's going good. That's a good time to get rid of it.
Well, I'm happy with it. If it quits today, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah. Well, if it quits today, though, it's worthless. Right now, you can still get 45 for it. That's what I'm saying. Hurry up.
Get her sold. Thanks for the
Thanks
call.
for calling, Roger. Appreciate it. Calling the show. Thank you so much.
We got another call already?
We do. This is Judy. She's calling from Lillian, Alabama.
Hey, Judy from Lillian. How can we help you?
Well, I just wanted to tell you that we were over there Monday, and we went to look for a car, and we ended up buying one. But I just wanted to comment on the salesman we had. He was so good. He showed us a lot of cars. He was very well informed. His name was Corey Wilkes.
Okay.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, he's a good guy.
And he treated us right, and we ended up buying a little Mazda 2, 2013. And we got a good trade-in, and everybody over there really treated us good. And I just wanted to let you know that we were very, very happy with our purchase.
Well, thank you, Judy. That's a very good compliment for you calling the show. I appreciate you taking the time out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It is so much fun to sell cars. It really is. We started this business 17 years ago, and Ivan, he comes. I was working at a big. Matter of fact, I was working at the #1 independent dealership in Pensacola. He comes knocking on my door. He was up in Wisconsin. Said, "Okay, I'm done in Wisconsin. I'm ready to open something for ourselves. And let's open something without all the gimmicks. Let's open something that." That we respect the customer. Let's not have any moonlight sales. Let's not have any slasher sales. Let's just sell cars and have fun doing it. And at that time, I was 39, you were 40, and if we figured we could do this for another 15, 20 years, we could just move into retirement and nobody even know we were there. All of a sudden, it's turned into a big monster, and people love the way that we do business. And because what we found out during the time we were in our franchise years, we had to listen to the bosses. We were paid by the boss. You have to listen to the boss. You have to go do what the boss says. I was one of those guys up in one of those little glass booths, yelling at the salesman, telling him what to do. But that's what the boss wanted at the dealership. Now we've changed that. We got a nice little building. We got a nice little place. We got 300 cars, and we don't hassle people. And that's why Judy and other people call the show thanking us for doing business the right way, I guess.
Well, we learned when we worked at the franchise dealerships, and I'm not trying to dog all franchise dealerships,
Right.
but the ones that we particularly work in, we learned how not to do things. And like you said, when you've got a boss looking at you over your shoulder saying, this is how you do it, you've got to do it that way. Well, I've never really liked working a car deal. You know how they say that? Like you said, they got the booth and they got the back room, and people always say, well, what are you talking about back there? What's taking so darn long? And now what we did is when we built our little program at Frontier Motors is we decided we don't want that stigma, so there's no podium, there's no back room. Ron and I are sitting right in the middle of all the salespeople, so when you come in, you can see me and wave hi. And if you want to work the deal, when I say work the deal, as far as getting the appraisal and giving the numbers, we don't ever ask a customer stupid questions like, "What do you want to pay? Where do you want to be? What do you want for your car?" I think it's our job as professional salespeople to tell you, here's what our product is, and this is how much it's going to cost you. And by doing that, people really respect that. They say, wow, I can't believe you gave me a price in writing, tax, title, tag. And then we give it to you and say, if you're not really sure if that's a good deal, why don't you shop around? Because how do you know if you're going to get a good deal unless you go somewhere else? And because of that, we've been able to have people make the circuit, and 2 days later they're back on our doorstep because everybody else treats them rotten and doesn't have a good price.
Absolutely. We got another phone call.
We do. And this is Ray from Cantonment.
Ray from Cantonment. How can we help you, Ray?
Hey, I appreciate you taking my call. I wanted to get a value on my 09 Chevy Silverado 1500.
All right.
Okay. Are you thinking of trading it in, Ray, or are you thinking of selling it yourself? What are you thinking?
I might be thinking about trading it in. Hadn't made my mind up yet.
All right. Well, the reason I ask is because it'll make a difference, because I'm going to go with the black wholesale book. This is what the books that the dealerships would use if they're going to appraise it for you. And you said it's an 09 Silverado 1500?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is it an LS, an LT, an LTZ?
It's an LT.
Okay, and is it a crew cab or is it an extended cab?
It's an extended cab,
Okay.
4-door,
All right, is it two-wheel drive or four-wheel?
2-wheel.
All right, and how many miles?
104,775.
See, now there's a man that knows his miles. See, the other guy didn't know the miles.
Probably sitting in it. You got a power seat in that thing?
Yeah, power seat.
Power sunroof?
No power sunroof.
Leather interior?
No, it's cloth.
Okay, and it's not a Z71, and it's got the 5.3 motor, not the bigger motor, not the 4.8, right?
Yeah, it's a 5.3.
Okay, all right. That's all the questions it asks. It might have some more equipment, but that's all they ask for. And it tells me that with that kind of miles on it, there's no clean book because the miles put it into the average condition. And the average book is still pretty good, Roger. It's $12,300 is the wholesale value, and wholesale is what a dealership might appraise the vehicle for, less any type of reconditioning. And I'm just going to use tires for example. If the tires are edgy or they're dry rotted, the dealer's going to say, well, it's worth $12,300, but I'm going to deduct $800 for tires, or if you need, if you got a cracked windshield or something. And I'm sure that the NADA books can be quite a bit higher, and your trade-in value also gets a little confusing because your trade-in value would be higher than the black book that I'm using. But if they appraise it for, let's say, $12,000, they might be able to give you 14 or 15 on trade off of the list price of whatever you're looking at. Are you thinking about buying another pickup truck if you trade it in?
Yeah, with my job. That's pretty much what I got to stay with is a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So, but I do appreciate it. Thanks for taking my call. That helped me tremendously.
Thanks for calling. I appreciate that.
You think that 12,000 is a little high with the high miles? With the 100,000
I'm
miles?
just telling you that's the Black Wholesale Guidebook, and the other thing that we would do if Roger comes in. Now, don't forget, folks, when you're calling in here, I can't see the vehicle. I'm only giving you a book value. I'm almost, we berate the banker sometimes, Ron, because the banker's looking at a book, and they don't. And you notice I didn't ask him the color of the vehicle. Well, you know what? The color makes a big difference. Let's say that we have 11 of our salespeople standing out on the curb, and we pull Roger's vehicle up, and they all say, thumbs down. what that means is that it's still an 09 with 100,000 miles on it, but it's ugly. And there can be a $2,000 price difference between good looking and ugly. And Ron, we've got this old thing that we learned from one of our oldest mentors, and he says if it jumps out at you, buy it. In other words, when it jumps out, when a customer drives it up and say, "Wow, look at that," don't worry about the price because somebody's going to pay for it. And I had that happen with a Jeep the other day, Ron. I looked at this Jeep online. And it was at the auction, and they had about 15 pictures, and it was a Sport. And somebody had painted it up to look like a Sahara. So they had painted the fender flares, put a hardtop on, painted the hardtop gloss white. Everything on the vehicle was whited out. They put Recaro seats in it, a navigation, backup camera, jacked it up, put big tires on it. It should have been worth $30,000. I bid $36,000. And somebody bid more than me because it jumped out at you. That vehicle should have been worth $30,000 wholesale. I bid $6,000 more and didn't get it because of the look factor. So we really have to look at it. We're giving you the book values, but if you pop in a Frontier Motors, if I like it a lot, Ron and I, we'll pay more money than that. If it's ugly, we're not going to tell you it to your face, but we're going to praise it a little lower. You bought it because you thought it was good looking, but most people don't admit they have an ugly vehicle. So
and I'll tell you,
a long time ago, don't tell them that.
I'll tell you from my own experience, don't bring a vehicle in with a blown engine. They won't give you hardly anything for it.
Yeah, but I know that from experience.
Well, Don's exactly right. When we first met Don and he was helping us out on the radio, he had an old Lincoln. Now, we didn't want to tell Don it was ugly. We just wanted to give him the money. We just wrote it on a piece of paper, how much we could give, how much we could trade.
Big bodies in 97.
Yeah, we had to get the college student out of the back trunk. He was renting out his trunk to the college student. But it's just that way. And the reason I interrupted Ivan when he was talking to Ray on the phone and after that is that it's the eye appeal of the vehicle. It's how you keep it up. I'm trading a 2001 BMW today that looks like it was taken care of. And I said to the guys at the salespeople yesterday, I said, I drove a miracle. Because every time I drive a 2001 BMW, it's not. All the check-in lights are on, everything's wrong. This one had everything right. So keep up your car, keep it in good condition, and you will find that the value is going to go up and up and up. And before you go to a car lot, it doesn't hurt to go run it through the car wash down the corner. In Car City, right there at Highway 29 and Brett Lane, there's a car wash. Sometimes that's going to help to show that you took care of it and keep it right. Ivan and I'll walk out. Keisha Streck, our sales manager this morning, bought a vehicle. She walked out there. It was perfectly clean. No dents, no dings, no scratches. This car was 3 years old, had 37,000 miles. She came in, wrote the guy a check, and he was gone in 5 minutes. And he was astounded how fast that happened. But that's because he took care of the car, kept it up, no check engine lights and things like that. But come see us, Frontier Motors. We got about 4 minutes left here on the show, on the radio and on television. We're located at 230 Beverly Parkway. For those who don't know where that is, if you're coming from Cordova Mall, just come past Pensacola Christian Academy, cross over Highway 29. We're right there on the right-hand side. You'll see the big 14-foot buffalo and a bunch of palm trees. From the Softly Field area, come down Softly Field Road, which turns into Michigan Avenue, cross W Street, And then right past W Street on the left-hand side, you'll see that same thing, all the palm trees. Now, we have two separate lots. We got a little big on us. It's got a lot of cars. So we put the truck lot across the street right there and a little gas station. You'll see it right there. And then all the cars are over there by the big building right there. But, financing's great. A website, Frontier Motors, INC.com, Frontier Motors, INC. What can they find on the website?
Well, one of the things you can find on the website is the map. So if you're listening to this for the first time on FM, which we hitched up with FM on January 2nd, you'll find a map. So if you're coming outside the area, that's really going to help you get to us. But you're going to see about 300 vehicles with between 20 and 30 detailed photographs. About 65 to 70% are going to have prices on them. If they don't have prices, just click on the vehicle. It'll send us an email asking the price, and we'll get back to you within a short time frame. Some of them might not have prices because we just bought them. We're flipping around 50 to 60 vehicles a week. That's a lot. That means we've got to buy 50, 60 weeks. So if you check our website 1 week, the next week there's going to be 60 new vehicles on there. That's how fast we're selling them. And the advantage to you is if you're looking for a particular vehicle, don't just check the website because some of the vehicles never make it. We sell them so quick. It takes 2 days to get them on the website. Once we get them, to take the pictures of them, they sell so quick. So shoot us an email and tell us what you're looking for. Our whole claim to fame is that we find vehicles for customers and we pay for them first. You don't give us any money. We buy them, and then if they pass your inspection, then you buy them from us. We already tell you the price before it gets here. So it's a great way for us to do extra business by doing a locate service for the people and not just call you when we happen to get one in trade.
And remember all our free services. We can give you these values free. We can give them in writing for free. We can give you a Carfax report for free. And all these things we do just because we're in the car business, day by day by day. I mean, the clock turns on, and for Ivan, sometimes as early as 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning buying cars. For us at the dealership at 8 o'clock, we're just getting rolling and everything else. And we close our mind at 6 o'clock. But if you got to use this and you need something in writing, if you're making a financial statement, if you've got an insurance claim, before you settle with your insurance, and you got a total, please check with at least a couple car lots to check the value of your vehicle before you settle with your insurance company, because you're going to be surprised if you don't, because sometimes you can accept just a little too low, and then when you go out there to replace your car, it's not going to happen.
And we're one of the few dealerships that gives you advice. All these things that Ron's talking about is not because you're buying a car from us. We're here to help the people in the Pensacola community and the surrounding suburbs or towns that if you've got questions, either stop in at Frontier Motors or call us, and we'll tell you what you should pay for a particular car. Let's say your neighbor's selling their car. Don't tell us what they're asking. Just tell us, describe the car, and then we'll tell you what we can sell you a car just like that for, and it'll help you sometimes get a deal. If you go to the Car City or one of the places in our area and you see a car in a used car lot, don't just plunk your money down. If it's within a couple of blocks, just bring it over to Frontier Motors. We'll scan the ID number, do the history report for you, and most importantly, tell you what you should pay so you don't get ripped off. If you're going to buy a brand new car, bring us the trade-in. Let us appraise it for you to make sure that dealership that you're buying the new car from is not going to undervalue your trade.
We'll be glad to help you. We'll be glad to share this knowledge. 36 years of business. I guess we've been in this car business a little too long, but it's just we will share that with you. And all of our salespeople, they listen to the show, they watch our show, and they know what we're talking about. So what we say here, we do at the dealership. And 230 Beverly Parkway. And remember, everybody drives a used car.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We've got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead country.